me. So much respect to that guy. Thank you so much.
As I said, this was a short notice main event. You were the co-main event. Mentally backstage, when you found that out, I mean, how did that feel? What did that change, or was it just business as usual?
Well, I started my sports psychologist for the last fight with Jocko. That helps a lot. But I just wanted my 25K bonus for that main event. And we need to run back new posters because I need my face on that. And man, let's freaking go to New Orleans, Louisiana, baby. Me, Dustin, all these guys from Louisiana, let's freaking go, man.
Well, talking of let's go, one last question before we let you go. As I said, best performance of your career. You're looking slick. You just choked out a submission specialist. Who do you want next?
Oh, man, you know I'm trying to fight everybody in this witch. But for me, it's either I want to run it with Sean Strickland, let's run that back. Chris Curtis, let's run that back. And if neither of those two work, let's go Jack Hermanson. We've been supposed to run it for a couple times. Let's officially run that. Or Dricus Duplessis, no matter what happens next weekend, you're still ahead of me. Let's get this shit.
Well, Brendan, congratulations once again. Truly a stunning performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Brendan All-In Allen.
Let's go, I'm in this bitch.
No shortage of names on the tip of the tongue of Brendan Allen, who wants to avenge his setbacks against Chris Curtis or Sean Strickland. And a couple other top 10 contenders are in his sights. And he figures to be inside the top 15 when the next batch of rankings come out. Here's what's coming up on UFC Fight Pass tomorrow. UAE Warriors. Of course, UFC Fight Pass 24/7 stream is always on. Fire that up after we're done here, and you can watch the entire Jon Jones UFC library now streaming. Final fight is in the books here in Las Vegas.
Augusto, congrats on the fight out there. What are your emotions after a nice grinding battle out there?
Parabéns pela luta lá. Quais são as tuas emoções depois de uma vitória dura como essa?
Cara, tô muito, mas muito feliz. Foram tempos difíceis na minha carreira e hoje eu tô aqui saindo vitorioso de novo. Comecei aqui no Contender Series 2018, tive altos e baixos nessa cidade e hoje eu tô aqui para uma redenção. Como eu falei durante a semana, escrever uma nova página e é isso que eu estou fazendo.
Man, I'm so happy. It's been such a hard time in my life, and these past couple of years, I started here back in Contender Series in 2018. Been highs and lows. And as I said, I'm here for redemption. As I told you before throughout the week, I'm here to write another history in the UFC.
And I know you said you didn't want to think about the pressure, that this was a new page when you came in there, but here it is, fight night. Did you still not feel any pressure going in there, or was it before you made that walkout? Did you feel the pressure and the gravity of needing a win out there tonight?
E você falou que você não estava sentindo e não queria sentir a pressão da noite como hoje. Você continuou não sentindo essa pressão, não bateu essa pressão, não caiu a ficha ao longo da noite, ou você em algum momento você sentiu que mudou alguma coisa pelo palco e a gravidade do momento, assim, a importância?
Toda hora que queria ver essa pressão, que vinha os pensamentos, né, que me colocava essa pressão, eu tirava, mudava, trocava esse pensamento e eu só queria dar meu melhor, sabe? Só queria mostrar aquilo que eu treinei e queria mostrar meu valor aqui dentro e que eu mereço estar aqui, né? Então, toda vez que vinha esses pensamentos negativos, eu já trocava por pensamentos melhores, pensamentos bons, né? E deu super certo.
Every time those thoughts came into my mind, every time anything negative came into my mind, I switched. I flipped the switch and I thought of something else, and I just thought of something, and I just thought, I just want to come here. I want to do my best. I want to prove that my training and everything I'm doing is what I want to prove my worth and my value to this organization. So every time that thing came, in a negative aspect, I just switched it and thought positive things, and it worked out really all right.
You opened up with some strong leg kicks, and then you took him up against the cage and had a lot of dominance against the cage. What was the game plan for him tonight?
Você começou com chutes fortes por baixo e depois, à medida que a luta foi passando, você foi colocando ele contra a grade. E isso foi assim, você mostrou uma dominação muito grande nesse aspecto. Qual que era o plano da luta antes de começar?
O plano era não dar espaço para ele, né? Cair para dentro, fechar os espaços, não deixar ele confortável dentro da luta, porque se deixar ele com espaço, ele joga bons golpes, ele investe nos ataques dele. E o chute ali foi uma coisa que aconteceu, né? Ele deixou aquela perna dele ali comprida na frente, então toma que é de graça e tamo aí.
The plan was actually to not giving him space and just not just kind of close that gap. Don't give him distance, because we know that when he has space to work, he will invest in some offense. He'll try to go he'll get some striking done. And as far as the kicks, I mean, it just happened. I mean, he left those long legs in front of him there, and when you left it, take it, because it's free, man.
And even maybe more so outside of that, with the knees up against the cage. When you were being heavy on him, you were weighing him down, tiring him out, but then dropping lots of knees, and he didn't seem to have an answer for that. Once you saw that was a problem for him, did you decide in your head that you just wanted to stick with that and see if you could finish him with those?
E mais que tudo isso que a gente falou, também quando você colocou ele contra a grade, você começou a investir naqueles chutes na cabeça. E ele foi um atrás do outro, e a impressão é que ele não tinha resposta para isso. Simplesmente funcionou. Foi uma coisa que aconteceu também, você viu assim, bem, o cara não está defendendo, ele não tem alternativa para isso. Eu vou continuar fazendo, que está dando certo.
Foi isso. A gente trabalhou muito esse jogo de chegar, botar na grade, de repente passar o gancho, cair por cima, ou no meu clinch do Muay Thai, front headlock. E ali, a hora que ele caiu no front headlock, os corners, joelho. Então, eu dei o primeiro, entrou, falei, opa, é aqui mesmo, então vamos continuar. E fui batendo. Até achei que ele desistiu uma hora, mas ele se mostrou um pouco corajoso e continuou.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, we actually trained a lot just to get him to look into Muay Thai, clinch some front headlocks, and when I was able to get him in, I put one knee in there, and I was like, whoop, it's coming. It worked. I actually thought at one point, so I continued to do it. At one point, I thought he was kind of gonna give in and give up. He proved himself to be very courageous in there, but at the end of the day, you saw what happened.
And maybe that's it. I was going to ask, it was such a dominant performance, but was there anything outside of him? Did he surprise you with anything out there? Was it just his toughness? And was there anything else that maybe surprised you?
Foi uma performance, desempenho bem dominante, mas assim, apesar além do quanto o cara foi duro realmente, da resistência dele, teve alguma outra coisa que surpreendeu você ou ficou assim, me surpreendi?
Não, tá. O que aconteceu ali, super natural. Aquele cara não queria estar ali comigo, porque ele sabia que eu era um problema para ele. E, cara, ele, desde o primeiro chute, ele já se assustou. Então, para mim, foi natural. Foi isso.
No, it was very natural. I think that guy, basically, I mean, everything that happened, you saw that guy did not want to be in there with me. You saw it from the first kick. He kind of got scared. So all along, just basically very natural. To me, everything that happened I expected it.
And I guess what's the next step? Do you ride the momentum? Do you try to get back in the cage soon? Or do you enjoy this win for a little bit and take a little time before getting back in there?
E agora, a próxima pergunta óbvia, depois disso, você entra e surfa essa onda e continua agora, quer lutar o mais cedo possível, você dá uma curtida nesse momento, nessa vitória e espera um pouquinho. Qual é o próximo passo agora?
Vou voltar para a academia, vou treinar. Pezão tem luta marcada, Marreta tem luta marcada, vou ajudar meus parceiros de treino. Então, eu vou me manter ativo, né? Se o UFC quiser me colocar para lutar em breve, estou pronto. Tamo no jogo.
I'm gonna go back home and train. Pezão got to fight. Marreta's got to fight. So I'm gonna just help out my gym buddies there and everybody from the team. But if the UFC wants to put me to fight, hey, I'm here. I'm in the game. I'm ready.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the victory.
Thanks so much.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Brendan Allen in the What's up, gang? Long time no see. So, everybody who got a finish, all 6 finishes got 50 grand tonight. Go ahead, John Morgan.
Yeah. Well, I guess main event fallout, obviously, unfortunate. I guess we know it's illness. What can you tell us about what happened and just how everything unfolded?
Yeah, halfway through the show, we found out that his stomach, he was having stomach problems. He wanted to fight really bad, so Doc worked with him, tried to get some things taken care of before the fight. Didn't work out, and just had to pull him. These things happen. They don't know what was wrong with him. It was some kind of a stomach virus that hit him. Could have been from cutting weight. Who knows what it was, but it happened. And, we're talking to these guys now about, do we do it in 2 weeks? What you don't want to do is have them cut weight again next week. So you give them a couple weeks. And God knows what's wrong with him, so we'll let him heal up and go from there.
If not, do you have a backup plan for Ryan? Obviously, he was incredibly disappointed tonight. We talked to him briefly. If it would be nice if you could rebook that fight, like you said, in 2 weeks. If not, would you try to find him something else fast, or just
100%.
put him back in the rotation?
Yeah, 100%. We'll get him. We'll get him taken care of and get it figured out.
Nice.
It's what we do.
We got a pretty impressive main event anyway. Brendan Allen came in and made an absolute statement. I guess, what can you say about his performance, especially with what he did against the guy he did it against?
2-1 underdog. Took out a ranked guy and made 50 grand tonight. So yeah, he had a really good night. That guy's got nothing to be bummed out about. Good night for him.
No question. Another one that was impressive, Tatiana Suarez. I'm just curious what you think about seeing her back. And first of all, I just guess her performance tonight, after that long away, how she looked tonight.
She looked incredible, especially with the time off. Everybody knows how I feel about that much time off, plus the things that she battled personally, physically, and then to come back and not just, De La Rosa is badass. That's a legit comeback fight. She's big, she's strong, she's a good wrestler. Her ground game is awesome, she's a true fighter. She came in to beat Tatiana tonight, and once she got that choke on too, look how long she fought that choke. Impressive too. So this was a real fight for Tatiana coming back. So it just shows, where she really is. Plus, she's shooting a HBO documentary right now. So you just couldn't have a better story than that. And the fact that she came in and fought somebody real, like a legit, really badass woman tonight. So big deal for her.
Here's the interesting part. How do you look at it?
And she won 50 grand.
And she won 50 grand.
Yeah.
That'll help. So where do you kind of consider the position, right? Because, she looked amazing before she had the time off, but that was at 115. She says she wins tonight at 125. So, do you see that as like, hey, we see her as a top contender? Or do you feel like she's got to work her way up from 15 again? Like, how do you see her path?
Yeah, I don't know. That's up to the media. We'll see where she ends up in the rankings. And, get a couple more fights under her belt, and we'll see what happens. There's no doubt. She's one of the best in the world. There was a lot of talk on the internet and a lot of hype about her coming back tonight. A lot of people were excited to see her. See how she was going to handle, adversity again, and she came out looking awesome. I pulled her back into my room after the fight, and do you guys remember when she was on her back? She was on De La Rosa's back and literally didn't even put her hooks in. And De La Rosa was bent over, and it was almost like she was staying in the same position like her hooks were in. I was like, what the fuck was that? What were you doing? And she broke it down, telling me what she's doing. She's just incredibly talented.
That's awesome. A couple outside tonight, I want to ask you, what can you tell us about the Ultimate Fighter, Conor McGregor? Big excitement. What can you tell us about what's happening so far?
Yeah, it's been good. We had our first 3 fights, I think on Friday, and I was actually just upstairs with Chandler, and he's telling me how much he loves this show and how into helping his guys he is. He's like, I figured I was going to come out here and, we'd go through the motions and whatever. He says, I'm blown away by how into this I am and how much I really care about these guys. And I said, this is what happens every season, man. It's fascinating. Every year that we do this, first of all, different things happen every season, and the fact that these coaches become so invested in their guys. It's fun, man. It's good to be back. I love it. I'm going to Boston the week of St. Patty's Day and looking for a fight. It'd be the first time I've done that in a while. And then obviously I'm excited for the Contender Series to come back too. All these things that we do to find and build talent are a lot of fun.
Last thing for me, I got to ask you about the big title fight coming up. John Jones is back. I just kind of what your early thoughts are and maybe what the early trends are for how successful this fight's going to be.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, again, just like I told you in Perth, we had Perth. Last year we had a sellout every single event, right? Now, Perth, the John Jones fight, and Miami are all trending to be MSG-type gates. So it's a really good start to the beginning of the year.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Just want your thoughts on Nurullo Aliyev. He kicked off the card tonight, the fighter from Tajikistan. There's a video that came out at 2:30 in the morning over there. There was a whole stadium just full of his fans. It seems like there's a whole country behind this guy. Is that someone that you would like to get behind?
That's fun when that happens, man. I mean, when these guys come over here and fight in Vegas, and they come from these places all throughout Europe, and when that kind of stuff happens, it's fun, it's exciting, and yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say other than it's cool to watch on social media when that stuff happens, or when they come home after a big win. It's cool to see.
There was a report last week that the winner of John Jones versus Cyril Gane is going to fight Stipe next. Is that?
I have no idea. I mean, we're heading into the week of the fight. I have no clue.
Is there a backup fighter for the main event?
Is there a backup fighter for the main event? Yes, we always have backups for those kind of fights.
Can you reveal who that is?
I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, we got a backup.
And then finally for me, with the Contender Series and Tough coming back, are they going to run concurrently, or is? That's
a good question.
Or is Tough, or is the Contender Series going to go after Tough?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that right now. What's the date that it's going to run? Yeah.
And are they both going to be on Tuesday? Like, are they going to be back to back, or is it?
That's a great question. That sounds like some shit we need to figure out, doesn't it? It's a great question.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
I don't think we saw you last weekend, but Erin Blanchfield seemed to get one of the year's biggest results so far, beating Jessica Andrade. I was just curious what you thought of her performance.
Yeah, I was blown away. I mean, she looked incredible. She came out and first of all, let me start with this. Jessica Andrade taking that fight on short notice. She's an absolute stud, number one. And not to take anything away from Erin, she came out and did exactly what she needed to do. She went right after her. She wasn't afraid of her. She wasn't afraid of her power. She stood in the pocket, mixed it up with her, and went right after her. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for a bigger stud than Andrade to come out and do what she did, and you couldn't ask for a better badass performance by Erin. I mean, it's just, when you think about how that stuff works, and you gotta put yourself in Erin's mind, right? Mindset. Most of these kids, they focus. We've seen it in the past with big time fighters, not just fucking people that are on the undercard or whatever. Big time fighters. Erin's coming into her first main event, right? And her opponent falls out. That's a total mind fuck to begin with. Okay. Then you tell her, oh, it's Jessica Andrade, right? So you think about how mentally tough and mentally stable somebody has to be the week leading into a fight, and that all happens to her. Then she walks into this place like a gangster and goes right after Andrade. I mean, it literally doesn't get the storyline doesn't get any better than that. And it shows you who Erin really is and what she's made of and what she's capable of.
She got a big boost in the rankings. How far away is she from a title shot?
Yeah, I mean, she put herself, you go in and you beat somebody like Andrade, a lot of questions about people. And the way that you answer those questions is in who you fight and how you handle yourself and you call them tests. Could she have scored any higher on her test than she did? No, she showed the world where she's at and what she's capable of, and yeah, she's probably really close.
In recent years, we've seen like world MMA kind of maybe overtake American MMA with pockets coming up like Russia and the UK and Australia and New Zealand. But what does it say about the future of American MMA when you've got Aaron Blanchfield right there, almost for a title shot, looking like a gangster, like you said, and Bo Nickel as well coming through, making his debut next weekend? How bright is the future for American MMA?
Yeah, it's funny because every year I sit up here in front of you guys and say, oh, wait till next year, or wait till next year, or wait till next year, and it literally always becomes true. If you look at where the sport is headed right now and the amount of talent globally, and, we have 2 Mexican-born champions now, which, I've been working at for years. And now we're opening the PI down there, which is going to take it to a whole nother level. And again, all these other parts of the world that you mentioned, it's funny because to us, the people that are in it every day, the UFC seems so massive. This thing's only like, 30 years old, but realistically, when me and the Fertittas started, we're like 22 years old. This sport is still a baby. There's so much more room for growth. That's why for years I used to hear all the stupid bullshit from people about, the UFC is peaked, the sport is peaked. Peaked. We haven't even scratched the surface of how big this thing is going to get in the next 10 years. Forget about 20, 25 years from now. It's fascinating.
And I'm not sure if it was BS or not. I think I saw a report that John Jones was like 250 pounds. How big are you expecting him to kind of weigh in?
I don't know. He and I have talked and text, but I haven't asked him any of that. Listen, John Jones is a guy that's been in the sport forever. He's the greatest of all time. He's done the move up to heavyweight the right way. He's taken his time and, just didn't pack on a bunch of weight, in a short amount of time. This has been years in the making, so he knows what he's doing.
For sure. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Dana, I can't remember if we've heard from you after the Makhachev-Volkanovski fight, what your thoughts on that were, and is a rematch possibly in the works on that one?
You know what my thoughts are on that? When you make a super fight, could you possibly have a better fucking result than we did on that fight, right? When the entire world is arguing over who won, that's a super fight, and it delivers, right? The only thing that could possibly be better than that is the guy who's fighting for the interim title comes out looking incredible too. So now you got Yair versus Volkanovski, right? We'll see what happens with Islam and where he ends up fighting next. You have to do Yair. You have to do that fight. I mean, the guy came out and absolutely dominated a stud that night. And then you have the rematch after they both fight again. You could not have a better result.
Makes sense. So definitely Yair first, not before giving Volk.
I mean, listen, I don't know. We didn't make any fights yet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different things that play out in making these fights. Timing, injuries, personal stuff, whatever it might be. But yeah, to me, the fight that makes sense is you make Yair versus Volkanovski, Islam versus somebody whenever that happens, and then you do the rematch.
So much talk is about next week is just Jones and Guns. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking Shevchenko fighting Grasso.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that fight, and what do you expect out of that one?
I agree. These things happen sometimes, but what also makes the fight so exciting and so big is the actual card. The card is stacked with great fights. This isn't just Jones and Cyril. People are just excited because Jones is coming back. But yeah, the whole card is badass, and obviously Valentina versus Grasso is an incredible card. And if Valentina beats her, I mean, it's just like this woman is absolutely amazing, and she's so sweet, talented, and so low key. She doesn't get the attention she deserves all the time. But this time we actually made 2 posters. There's the John Jones poster, and then there's the Valentina poster. So she deserves her own poster.
Yeah. Going back to Tough, there was a lot of talk going into before this started. People were saying that Conor when he made the jump, he brought 3 guys with him, and he replaced 3 guys that were on the card or already decided. Can you clear up what that story's all about?
I have no idea. Who gives a shit?
Just glad he's back, right?
Huh?
Just glad
No, it's not even that. It's like these stories that come out of these things, what did I hear? Heard something earlier tonight too. It's like, this stuff is, when we're working on all this stuff, you know what I mean? And you're trying to get guys to commit to coach and, you know, to do the coaching commitment, especially when you live in Ireland. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, Connor's going to get some things that he wants. Nobody lost an opportunity here. If there were guys that were booked to do that, we'll do something with them. You know, it's not just like, hey, see you later, pal. Good luck to you. You know, have a good life. We'll figure it out. We'll take care of these guys.
And last one on Tough. I know you're always, this has been your baby until the Contender Series came around. Are you the kind, do you watch the show as it's going so you can kind of feel as it's going, or do you like to wait until it's sort of already in post-production so you could discover it like the rest of us?
You talking about The Ultimate Fighter?
The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. So what happens with The Ultimate Fighter is as it's being edited, they shoot the episodes over to me, and I watch the episodes when they're done to see if I have any edits to make on it or changes that I want. And I mean, that's what we do with basically everything that goes out of this building or the building next door. I approve before it goes out. I literally watch everything from promos to, the 30th anniversary stuff, fight lore, stuff that goes on Fight Pass, everything that goes on here, I watch before it goes out.
Have you seen, obviously one of the great things about it is that the characters that show themselves, the personalities, have you seen anything already that leads that we're going to see some great personalities come out of this season? 100%.
I mean, at the fights that happened here the other day, there was a lot of cool shit that happened. Yeah, I love it. The one thing about this show that continues to make it relevant is the best always rise to the top, And even the format on Power Slap right now, the same thing is happening. Me and Craig Pelagian did the Ultimate Surfer show, and the guy who won the show won the World Open of Surfing. The guy won. He beat all the fucking best surfers in the world in that competition. This formula works no matter how you do it.
That kind of makes me, there's an event, I believe, that's happening the same night as a Power Slap that's in the future, I believe, unless I'm wrong. How is that going to work out? Is the UFC going to finish before Power Slap, or are you guys going to run that concurrently?
Yeah, the UFC will finish, and then Power Slap will begin. The UFC fight's over at the Virgin, and then the Power Slap fight is here.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, buddy.
Just one question for me. We really kind of needed a breakout star in Canada since GSP coming. Mike Malott wins on the Contender Series. He's 2-0 in the UFC. What were your thoughts on his performance? And are we going to see the UFC come to Canada this year?
Yes, and yes. Obviously huge to have, rising stars that are Canadian and guys that are actually legit and can really fight. And there's no doubt both of those guys that fought tonight are. Malott looked incredible. And yes, we're working on getting back to Canada ASAP. This is going to be the year that, the whole COVID thing, it's going to take us a few years to get back and hit every place that we need to hit. But the great part of it is that all these places are chomping at the bit to get a UFC event back there. And Canada is and always has been a very important market to us. So we're working on it. Yeah, we'll be there soon. Good? Have a great weekend, you guys.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes,
Oh, it's
Prime?
Prime? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like in the middle of the spot.
That's the best flavor too.
Is it? I heard that the popcorn is the best.
Yeah, the red, white, and blue one is my favorite.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Tastes like the popsicle.
How are you guys?
How are you? That's the question. I mean, obviously, we know the journey. You've talked about it plenty, but you know, you come in and get the performance that you had tonight. How are you feeling right now?
I'm really happy. I'm really proud of myself just because of what I had to, really get through to get here. I think that was the hardest part. I mean, I tried, when we had the interviews here in the beginning of the week, I tried to really stay away from it just because I had to really focus, and emotions are hard to deal with when you're like, gonna go in a steel cage and like fight somebody and they're gonna try to knock you out. But, it was really hard, and I'm just really proud of myself because I got here and I got the job done. I got a guillotine, which I haven't done since on the Ultimate Fighter. So I'm just really excited that I was able to perform the way I performed, and obviously I need to improve on some things. That's me. I could have a perfect performance in everybody else's eyes, but I'm always going to critique myself. Not saying that performance was perfect, but I'm in everybody else's eyes. I'm just saying if I had a perfect performance, if I had done that in the first 30 seconds, I probably would have still found something that I could improve on, But that's why I believe I'm going to be the champion.
Can you talk about walking in there tonight? You talked about trying to avoid the emotions and everything. I mean, did it feel different tonight?
I had a tough camp, my back was kind of bad during the camp, so like a couple weeks I had to 1 week I had to completely take off. Then another week I had to really actually just go light. And I don't go light. Like everybody knows me who's trained with me, I don't go light. So it kind of messes with your head when you have to fight somebody and you can't prepare the way you want to prepare. But I just took it one day at a time, and I focused on what I could, just like I always do. Like when I hurt my knee, I focused on what I could do, and that was work the other leg, and I had 2 arms. So just working around things that, and making things happen for myself.
When you were having those back issues, was there any talk of maybe we're going to have to pull out of this fight?
It went through my mind, but I was like, I cannot. I cannot do that. I was like, I will get better. And once I get better, then I just need to be able to step in the cage. That's all to me. I knew I could make it happen no matter what. I just needed to be healthy. And, even with the Nunes fight, Nina Nunes, I wasn't healthy going into that fight, but I still made it happen. You know what I mean? So, like I said, just focusing on the things that I can control and making things happen.
Nice. Last week for me, I guess it's a unique position, right? Because before you had the time off, I think a lot of people, dubbed you as a future title contender. You come back, you're impressive, but it's at 125, right? So where do you think you stand at 115? What do you think you deserve, I guess, at this point? I mean, do you feel like you should re-enter the rankings? Do you feel like, you got to have a fight at strawweight before you can be considered? I guess, what do you see the path from here?
Yeah, I think they should give me a really good opponent, a good opponent at strawweight, and then, I'll earn it. I've never been given anything in my life. I've always earned it, and I don't mind doing that because I think, that builds character, and you got to work for the things that you get in your life. And I don't mind doing that because that's how my mom raised me and my grandma raised me to be. So, yeah, I'm excited for whoever, like I said before, Montana's tough, and I was really honored to share the cage with her because she's, she has a lot of fights, and she accepts really difficult fights. And, I really respect her for getting in the cage with me. I respect anybody who gets in the cage with me, regardless of what they say about me. I think, maybe she said a couple things that maybe I didn't like, but I was like, whatever, I did take it to heart a little bit, but then I was like, maybe it's gonna, build her up or whatever, make her feel a little bit better, or whatever. Maybe I try not to take things personally, but I am a woman, and sometimes we get a little chip in the shoulder when someone says something about us. I think anybody does. You don't have to be a woman for that, but yeah. So I think she said that maybe because everybody was so small that I could only wrestle them because they were small. Well, she's a 125-pounder, and I wrestled her, and not only that, but I train with people much bigger than her at practice, and I can take them down. So.
Tatiana, going off that same question, like if you had your choice, would you want to fight like a former champion in your next fight, like a Rose, or do you want like a top contender like Emmanuel Lemos, maybe like fight Carla again, like what do you want?
I don't think anybody wants to see me fight Carla again. Let's be real. Like it's like I would catch a case twice. No, we're not doing that. Not saying that she hasn't improved, but I just think that you saw the first fight. I don't even think that there would be anything different about a second fight with Carla. So let's just not do that one. But I mean, yeah, I would love to. Like I said, I have said that I want to fight all the best people. I'm not scared to fight the best people because that means I'm the best, So I would love to fight somebody like Rose. She's an amazing striker. She's an amazing martial artist. She too has overcome a lot of things in her life, and I respect her as a person. So when I say that I want to fight them, it's really not disrespect to I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just think that I want to fight all the great people. You know what I mean? And it's out of respect that I want to do that. I feel like it's an honor to share a cage with somebody. So yeah, I'm just excited. I would love to fight somebody like Rose or whoever they give me. Really, I'm not. I've told multiple people. I would go down the entire roster if I could. Like wouldn't mind doing that. Like, and I'm not saying that just like I just think it's fun to fight. And so I love the whole media. I love everything about it because it's just fun. I mean, I love this lifestyle, and I think the thing that I love the most is just that like I can display it. I do it all the time at practice, but now I can display it.
How much pressure did you put on yourself tonight? And I guess what was the mind frame like going in like that? You walk in the cage, like what was the mind frame like?
There was a range of emotions. At first I was like I was getting nervous. It's like fluctuates. You get nervous and you're like, nah, it's fine, it's good. I'm like, wait, is that normal? Should I not be nervous? And then you're like, wait, should I be? You know what I mean? So at first I felt like a little nervous, and it's so weird when I get in the cage. My nerves just completely go away. It's the weirdest thing. And I have like these crazy talks with myself, and I'm like by myself, and I'm walking back and forth, pacing like a tiger. And I'm just like, having these conversations with myself, and then I get out there and I'm good. I'm like, it's okay. I think for me, growing up, I put a lot of pressure on myself growing up. I was a wrestler and stuff, and I competed a lot, and I wanted to be an Olympic champion from a very young age. And I think when you put a goal like that in your mind, you have to put a lot of pressure on yourself throughout your life. And I think for me, when I put pressure on myself, I excel. I feel like, it really makes you better, So every single day, no matter what it is, whether it's strength and conditioning, whether it's a run, I put pressure on myself so that when I get in the octagon, that pressure is more comfortable to me.
There seemed like there was zero ring rust whatsoever, but like when you walk like that first round, was there any rust?
Yeah, I was just kind of a little more timid than usual, I was like, because in all my fights, I'm like really relentless. But sometimes because I'm so relentless, I miss opportunities to do certain things. And I kind of wanted to do a little bit more. Like I kind of wanted to just have a little bit more fun, And so I think because I wanted to have so much fun and get it was in my mind that I wanted a $50,000 bonus. I was like thinking to myself, okay, how can I get a Sulu stretch? How can I get how can I get a twister? Like I was practicing twister yesterday. That was the first time I've ever done it. It was like innate. I'm like, guys, don't be surprised if I ever get one because I think I'm a natural. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. Now everybody's gonna be watching for the twister. Damn it, I shouldn't have said nothing. But I just gotta be quiet now. They're gonna be like, watch out for this submission, watch out for that submission. But yeah, no, I'm just, I was so focused on the 50K that I don't even remember the question. I'm just ranting at this point. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You did get the 50K, so
Yeah.
how does that make you feel?
I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Like I said, it was 3 years off, and along the way, it was really hard because when you haven't fought in that long and you don't have an income, it gets really tough, and you have to dedicate yourself full time. And so, luckily the UFC would find me sponsorships along the way that would help me just a little bit just to get by, you know what I mean? And I'm really grateful for that because, I wasn't active and they still helped me in that way. I'm sure if I had reached out to Dana and asked him, he probably would have helped me out, but I just wouldn't do that, So, because I guess I'm okay with not having much, I don't need much. I just need the people that I love and to do what I love.
And finally, Dana revealed that there's an HBO documentary following you around, filming you. How cool is that?
It's so amazing because, my brother opened up a wrestling academy, and it's called Legacy Wrestling Center. It's in Covina, California. Shout out. My brother's, he's changing lives, and I'm really proud of him because, he left his regular job and he pursued this, he could have just worked a regular job, but that's not his passion. His passion is coaching. And he took the chance on himself, and he made this center, and now he's going to be changing lives, young lives. And I'm really proud of him. But I don't even know where I was going with it. What was the question?
Just the HBO documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And just that.
So my brother started this, and, now he has that center. And along the way, he can inspire people. But the documentary is obviously on my journey, but it's also on women's wrestling and the growth of women's wrestling. And, I'm very fortunate for wrestling because it's helped me a lot. It's helped me build who I am. I'm just really grateful for the sport, and I'm glad that my brother can actually do the same thing for other girls and also boys. But yeah, I'm really excited about the documentary. And I guess the point of me speaking about my brother was just that he followed his passion. And I'm really proud of him for that. And yeah, I'm really excited about this documentary.
Just have one on that. I think it came up in media day, and a lot of people were saying how they considered you like the female version of Khabib when it came to wrestling. You're talking about women's wrestling. Who are some of the role models out there that people should be paying attention to when they are thinking about women's wrestling, so that they can say that you remind me of so and so? Who are some of these names out there that people should pay attention for?
For the women's wrestling?
For women's wrestling.
We have Helen Morales, who I also shared. She's an Olympic gold medalist. I don't know how to say her. Tamira Mensah-Stock. Adeline Gray, Victoria Anthony. Those are the people from, when I was there. Clarissa Chun. I looked up to Sarah McMahon and Patricia Miranda. When I was 12 years old, I walked up to Sarah McMahon and Patricia Miranda. They were at a booth, and I was like, I want to be an Olympic gold medalist. And, I didn't get to do that, but here I am, and I'm living my second dream. And I'm very fortunate because sometimes people aren't even fortunate to have one dream. And I have two. Now I've had two, and I've had the pleasure of living both of them.
Have you ever had any young ladies come up to you and say that they want to be an MMA fighter now because of you?
I think, yeah, a couple, yeah. But I think a lot of times it's a little, I think they don't really express it, but, they look up to me, and I don't realize it, but I'm very fortunate to be able to inspire people along the way. And that's actually what I was going to say about the legacy thing. My brother opened up a thing. His motto is, his slogan is, what will be your legacy? And for me, I want to inspire as many people along the way in my journey. And the fact that HBO is obviously documenting that and it's going to reach more people, I'm very, very blessed to have that opportunity to be able to do that, because life is hard, you know, and it's good to have some inspiration that will help you along the way.
That's awesome. Congrats on victory.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
On the victory, I mean, probably one of your best performances to date. I guess, how are you feeling right now after that win?
I'm good, man. I'm a little tired. But no, I feel great. I'm super blessed to be here, super blessed to be in the position I'm in, and super happy. Now it's the job's done. I did what I needed to do. Now it's time to rest and go see my kids. Now I'm just waiting to hear how my promotion's doing, which it seems to be very good. I got a lot of good feedback since, and honestly, that's where my focus is right now, is my kids. And how's my promotion doing? You know, I'm sad that I couldn't be there, but obviously this is what my journey is mostly focused on. I know I have great people running my promotion and doing the things that they need to do there, so I don't have to stress about it, and so I can get my job done. And luckily, I did just that, and yeah, I'm happy.
Obviously bumped up to the main event. I mean, I guess it really didn't change anything in terms of, like, it's still a 3-round fight, same opponents. I mean, with that stuff that was going on, did it impact you at all, or did you just not even think about it? How did it affect you?
Honestly, at times I just pushed the thought away, and then other times it excited me, to be honest. I was hoping they'd come in and tell me I got like a little bonus, and we could do 5 rounds if need be, because I trained for 5 rounds. Like, I've done 5 rounds before. It's nothing new for me. I've done 2 or 3 of those, full 5 rounds. I've been scheduled for, I think, 4 or 5, so it's nothing new. But, hey, come show me the money, and I'm with it.
I love it. So obviously, first round comes out, you know, more striking than anything else. You're able to stuff a takedown. I guess, how was it playing out versus your expectations? Did you think this was going to be more of a grappling-based fight, or did you want it to play out on the feet as much as it did?
My ego says, just go out, jump guard, see what's up. That's my ego, right? But my intelligence and my skill says, let's test him where he's not so good at. But honestly, I felt like he would get me down at some point. My coaches, my team, my brother right there, Tuco, they told me he's not going to get you down. He's not going to get you down. And only way he gets you down is if I want to go down. And that's exactly what happened. And as soon as I felt him, I knew he had nothing for me. But ultimately, this one kind of sucks a little bit, because, like, I think he's a really good guy. Like, he's got 2 kids like me. Obviously, we have a little language barrier, but I've got people that speak Portuguese. So, but ultimately, I really like this guy. I have a lot of respect for this man. He seems like a very good guy. He's a very good fighter. And he didn't hide behind his rankings at the end of the day. I don't know what happened, you know, from my fight in October to when they said that fight landed or whatever. I don't know how it worked out. That's above my pay grade. Either way, we still stepped in there tonight. He still didn't hide behind his number. And I have a lot of respect for that. And I have a lot of respect for him as a man as well. So hats off to Andre, for sure.
When he did take you down and you hit the sweep immediately, I'm just curious, did that, like, mentally do something for you there? Did things click at that moment, like, I'm going to be able to beat him here?
That's still 2 points for me. No, I think it was just reassured what, you know, my circle has been telling me. Like, I think sometimes I've lacked, obviously, I've talked about it with the sports psychologist, and lacking mentally. And I think good self-talk, using like a cookie jar method of things that I've done in the past that I know I can do. And I think when that happened, it just reassures, like, yeah, I'm really that good. I'm that damn good. And it just opens me up to be more of myself, show more of me. And when I'm aware and I'm in the moment and I'm present and I'm Brendan Allen, I'm good enough. I'm damn good enough. And no matter what happens, I feel like that's really my thing right now. As long as I'm Brendan Allen, no matter if I win or lose, I can take my hat off and look in the mirror and be proud of what I've done, win or lose. As long as I'm myself, they're going to be damn good to beat me. So ultimately, at this moment, again, I'm just very happy.
That's awesome. Well said. Last thing for me, I know you're focused on the family and the promotion right now, but in the cage, you rattled off a couple different names that all made sense to you. I mean, you had plenty of options there. Is there any one of them that means more than anything else, or does the opponent not really matter to you at this point?
At this point, I'm not really trying to chase anything. Obviously, I'm a super competitive guy. Obviously, I really like Sean and Chris. I think they're very good guys. Like, we talked for 40 minutes the other day at the PI in the cafeteria. That's just business, and obviously there's a lot of eyes if I fight Strickland again, especially coming off my win, and he's fought the champion before, so I feel like that really sets a statement. But I understand how the business works a little bit, so I'm okay with fighting someone new, and that's why I gave the two names of Dricus and Jack. I feel like me and Jack were supposed to line up a couple times, and it didn't happen. Obviously, they were super short notices, both of them, when they asked me. One of them I was hurt, the other one I was hurt and not training at all, so I can't gamble two things against me. So, again, full camp. I'll fight any man on this planet. I'm not hiding behind nothing. Full camp. I'm a dangerous guy, so we can run it whenever with whoever. I don't care who it is. I'm the best in the damn world, and I'm going to keep showing that.
Brendan.
Hey, Brendan, nice to meet you.
You got that top 15 ranking, man. How's that feel?
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? They might fucking put me at 14, yeah? They hate me. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should be 10 or 11 based on how the rankings are going to be. I don't know. I don't really care. It's cool. It's good to show my kids. Obviously, they're real little, but shit, I'm about to get bougie. Like, I don't know nobody. Tuco, who are you? But no, it feels good. It's a check off the list. It's something that I've put a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifices. I've sacrificed a lot in my life, in my personal life, to achieve goals that not many humans can do. At the end of the day, that's how I look at this. There's not many men, there's not many women that can do what we're out here doing. There's a lot of people that want to do what we're doing, but they can't do what we're doing, especially at this level. And haters gonna hate, but what's up?
Do you feel like this win over Muniz, with your submission win over him, kind of cements you as the best grappler in the middleweight division?
I'm that one. I am him. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to be, I am cocky around my friends, and I like to joke, and I like to mess around, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'm nothing special. One day my kids are going to be able to watch this and see this, and what kind of man am I to pull some of the stuff that all these other guys do and sell their souls to the devil for the money and stuff like that. All that shit will come as long as I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm just me. I ain't nothing special. I'm just an ordinary guy. I was blessed with certain things that allow me to do this. I can't do what you're doing. Maybe you could do what I'm doing. Maybe not. I don't know. But I can't do what you're doing. So I feel like every person has their niche. I just happen to find mine, and this is what it is. I don't know. I'm not really a super intelligent person, but I do what I do, and it provides for my family and my kids, and that's what I'm supposed to do as a man, I feel.
There was a lot of hype behind him. You talked that, like, you like him as an athlete, but how did it feel to halt that momentum that he had?
Man, I fought guys that were undefeated. I fought guys that had this hype, knockout hype, submission hype, this and that. I've put my time in. Again, when people ask me, like, oh, do you want to fight up? Of course I want to fight up. I've freaking fought 11 times in UFC, 11 times in UFC, 12 under the Zuffa banner. So, yeah, I'm not one of these guys that just come in here, got the win, and, I'm in the top now. Like, I've put my time in. I've had to put my time in. I fought the best guys that I could get at the time. I'm not one of these guys that, like I said, just come in and I'm there and it just happened for the hype or whatever, or just a lucky win. But I'm not scared of anyone. I'll fight anyone. Whatever names comes across that makes sense to my team, that is what it is. I've never said no to an opponent on a full camp ever. So that'll never change. At the end of the day, that's how I was raised. That's how I was brought up. That's where I come from. And my dad probably disowned me if I said no to another man with a full opportunity. So I ain't no bitch.
And then finally, you guys just kind of talk about, like, this like tonight. Like it just kind of feels like it's the perfect night for you, man. It's like your first main event. Your promotion's doing really well. Just take it all in.
Yeah, the emotions hit a little bit every now and then. Yeah, it was a short notice main event. I need a poster, a new poster. I wish they would have came with that money, that main event money, but you still got a bonus, so that's a positive, right? Super blessed about that. It took me 10 fights to get my first bonus, so now we're on a whole different thing. And at the end of the day, I'm just super happy. I'm trying to take it all in, and I think I'm hitting my stride. I feel I'm hitting my stride. I feel like I'm coming into my own, and I found myself. I feel like I found myself in fighting, in my personal life as well. Like I feel like I'm in a very good spot in my life at the moment, and yeah, I'm just very happy, very blessed to be here.
Congrats.
Thank you.